Hello and welcome to another episode of Oshaya Day Trip Productions. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. Right now, I'm just kind of sitting in my vehicle in my garage, just trying to clean it out a little bit because I am actually going to be trading in this vehicle tomorrow for a actually brand new 2026 RAV4 hybrid. Um, Made the decision to go ahead and trade this vehicle in because there are a few things that I really don't like about it, and there are a few things that I do like. But this vehicle, it's a 2022 4Runner, a Toyota 4Runner, and it's a good size SUV, and it does use a lot of gas. It's not hybrid; it's just all gas motor. I wanted to go ahead and try to get something that's a little bit more efficient because, wanting to do more traveling for this channel and just for work, I'm actually going to have to start driving a little farther here in the next couple of months. I wanted to get something that's just going to be a little bit more efficient on the gasoline. And also, this vehicle is actually just slightly too big for me. Just kind of turn this camera on around. Just kind of show you. This is basically my point of view, so it's kind of hard for me to see over the edge. So when I go to park, I kind of have to kind of park out of the way, so just make sure I don't hit anything. Just being on the short side, I'm about 5'1", so these larger vehicles aren't really great for when you need to park or trying to get to tight spaces. So those are kind of the two reasons for us just driving, using this as a daily driver. Also, when I bought this vehicle, I had actually traded in a couple of other vehicles, and I had to kind of roll over some of the what I owed on those into this one. And so the price is kind of up there, so I kind of want to get something that's just going to bring that back down a little bit, something a little bit more reasonable for me as well. And like I said, there are a few good things about this vehicle that I really like. One being that, as you can see, it has quite a lot of room to it, so you could easily sit 5 people in here. And the back seats back there, although you can pull them all forward, and so you can give you a little bit more space to load up stuff in the back. If you got something that's long or kind of bulky items, you can get those back there easy enough. So that's one of the reasons why I bought this vehicle, is just because being on the larger side, you have more room to store, and it actually has a hitch receiver in the back, so you can haul a trailer, or bike rack, whatever it is you want to haul. And I think, if I remember correctly, that you can haul up to 5,000 pounds with this vehicle. It is also a 4-wheel drive, part-time 4-wheel drive, so that comes in handy, if you get, some bad weather or, something like that. I actually, in this area, Arkansas, we don't get a lot of snow. We get it occasionally, so, 4-wheel drive has come in handy, but it's just not something that I use enough, really, to really make that big of a difference. And if it's not 4-wheel drive, it's actually a rear-wheel drive, which I don't like rear-wheel drive. I'd rather have front-wheel drive before rear-wheel drive. So the new vehicle I'm getting is going to be front-wheel drive. So there is that. See what else about this vehicle. I like another thing too, even though, being on the short side, it's kind of hard for me to see over the hood, get a good view over the hood, but it does give me, when you're driving, it helps give you like a better field of vision, just around, some of the smaller vehicles, which can come in handy, has come in handy quite a bit for me, certainly over the past 2 years that I've been driving this vehicle. But I just kind of want to jump on here real quick. What I'm going to do, I'm going to continue this video tomorrow once I go pick up the new vehicle. I have not test driven this vehicle. I have not laid eyes on this vehicle because I had to put a reserve on it because they just, didn't have any in stock. So that's gonna be interesting. That's kind of one thing that kind of has me little concerned, but not, big deal. I trust Toyota. I think it's a good vehicle brand, so I'm pretty confident in that. Even though this will be the first time I've ever have owned, even driven a hybrid, so gonna see how that's gonna work out. I'm gonna give you my ideas on or my thoughts, just how that goes. My first impressions of that. Another thing, of course, I'll talk more about the Rav4 tomorrow, but it does have a lot of the same interior features that this 4Runner has. It has electric seat adjustments, which comes in real handy for me. Of course, it has cruise control and all the basic stuff. Backup camera, which I think is pretty much standard on vehicles anymore. So I'm gonna wrap this up here for this evening. Just want to jump on again and just gonna do this video over 2 days. Just want to probably just get my last little thoughts in. Just gotta sit out here and just reflect on this, on my 4Runner. I do like 4Runner. I like it a lot, but it's just kind of one of those things. I think it's just one of the things, but that's okay. So before I'm actually going to wrap this up for this evening, just wanted to give you just a good view of what the 4Runner looks like, which they're pretty common. You don't see them quite everywhere, but you do see quite a few of them out and about. It's one thing I don't like about this Toyota as far as the body style is pretty much the way how it looks on the front. I never really liked how this is looks a little too fancy for me, so it's not my favorite body style, but there is that. Let's see, of course we got another thing I like about this 4Runner. This is actually, just point this out to you real quick. This is a SR5. I think it's, no, I think it's just an SR5. It's not premium or anything. But I do want to point out a few things about this, is that these mirrors are heated mirrors, which are really nice to have. I really like that feature. And let's see, what else? Of course, I mentioned about the, you got your seat adjustments here. And this, the driver's side is like an 8-way adjustment, and the passenger side is a 4-way adjustment. Let's see what else we like here. It's just, it has, basic dash here, nothing too fancy. It does have a pretty decent amount of storage. I got a nice little storage spot right there. Of course, you got your glove box on the other side. And in the back, you have little pouches here. You could put, like, I don't know, maps or something in that. You do have, of course, you got some outlets, to plug in your phone, some other items, and all of that. And these seats right here, just to show you how you get this up, you gotta pull on this little latch right here, pull up the seat. And I apologize, it's kind of dark out here, so out in my garage, so try to make out a little bit what I can here for you. So you just put that down like that, and of course you do the other side as well. So you got, of course, move the camera back here a little bit. You got plenty of room. I've actually been able to get a bicycle back there. It took a little bit of doing on my part, but it got back there nonetheless. And as you can see, it does have the trailer hitch. And of course, you see plenty of storage. I definitely got my use out of loading up the back end here and just hauling stuff around. Well, that's basically it. like I said, it's a good vehicle, and I am going to kind of miss it in a way, but in a way I'm kind of glad to get something a little bit more efficient, a little bit more affordable. Alright, so it's now Saturday, and of course I'm back out here in my garage, and I just kind of want to show you real quick my new vehicle here. This is a 2026 Rav4 hybrid. It's a XLE Premium. And of course, as you can see, it's black, and it has tinted windows all the way around. Try to give you a little bit of view what it looks like up front. And this vehicle, after all said and done with the warranty, extended warranty and all that good stuff, actually still came out cheaper monthly payment than my 4Runner. So I think it's going to be a win for me all the way around. Get a lot better gas mileage. Of course, as I said, with this being a hybrid, you know, it's going to get a lot more than the 17 miles a gallon I got on that 4Runner. So I just wanted to sit in the dash wheel or on the driver's side real quick and just kind of show you what it looks like on the dash here. Of course, I'm in my garage, so I'm not going to start the vehicle up. It is still uses gas, but so I don't want to start it in the garage. But just kind of show you, here's the LCD screen, and this here is where, of course, you know, you do your radio, your navigation, maps, your you know, where you can press a button, it turns on the AC. And down here below, these are actually like buttons that you push, you know, if you want to, you make it colder, make it hotter, you know, your AC. You got your defrost, you got your rear defrost as well. I assume that these buttons here kind of control that. Of course, you got your volume knob for the radio. And this vehicle actually has 3 different drive modes, and this is where you can change them up. I'm not too sure what this EV thing is. The sales guy did tell me, but of course with so much information with all these new little gadgets, it was kind of got lost, kind of got lost in the conversation of what all that does. And they actually, too, this is really cool. It does have a wireless phone charger, so you can just put your phone on that to charge it up. And also, I believe, for the Android Auto, you know, if you use Maps, you know, or something from on the Android Auto or Apple Play, it's actually wireless, so you don't have to plug it into anything. This vehicle does come with some trials as far as, you know, some perks, like it comes with, I think it's like a 30-day or so much data through AT&T, where you can have a Wi-Fi connection in your vehicle, which I don't think I will be really utilizing too much, but it is an option that comes with. And of course, you know, over here we got the glove box. You know, typical glove box. And this actually big book right here, that's actually the manual and stuff. So, got a lot of information in that. Of course, you got nice little cup holders. You got parking brake, and this is how it looks. So I really like this setup. That way, I like how it's got like the cover there, so that way you don't have to worry about, you know, spilling, you know, any drinks or anything getting spilt down into that. Of course, you know, it has your cruise control, and you got your lights, and this over here, that's going to be your hazard lights if you need them. Looks like cool. This is really cool. You got a nice little storage space there. I will say, however, that these seems to me that these seats are kind of not really good. You know, if you're a real tall person, this might not be a really good vehicle choice for you. There's just really not any room in the back seat, you know, as far as, you know, leg room or anything. for me, I think it'll be okay. Like I said, I am on the short side, about 5'1", and you know, it's not. I can't see completely over the hood, but it is, you know, doable. It's just like, you know, when you drive anything, you know, it takes a little bit of getting used to, and then after that, you know, it's all good to go. But the driver's side seats are, you got electric adjustment. You know, you can push a button, move it forward, back, up and down. The passenger side is actually manual, so of course you have to use the lever that's on, you know, on the side of the seat and all that. So it's pretty, you know, nothing too extravagant. You know, it's pretty, you know, it's got a few updates, but nothing crazy by any means. The back half here, back windows, those are tinted when you buy it. My windows were actually, as an extra, they tinted that. So right now it's got like these little things they're telling me not to roll down the windows for, I think, like 3 to 5 days, just to let it cure, let the film cure. And of course, you know, I don't see much in the way of overhead light. If you need to see something, got one back there, and there's also, turn this camera back around, you also got these little lights right here. So, which I thought was kind of weird. You know, typically you'd have some like overhead lights right there, but this does not have that. But one of the good things, well, of course, you know, before I forget, you got your little storage area here. Of course, the back seats, on back of the front seats, there's a little pouch there, you know, if you need to put some small items. So, as far as the back seat goes, like I said, there's not too much in the way of legroom back here. So it's just something to keep in mind if you're on the tall side. And also you can see I got the seat kind of raised up pretty good because I am short, so it took me pretty much getting pretty close to the steering wheel to feel comfortable in it. But like I said, you know, once, you know, get used to driving it for a little bit, I'm sure I can adjust it back probably a little further. Of course, you got your AC vents back here. Looks like you can kind of control how much air you get. These are just the little pouches behind the seats. And of course, it's kind of give you a view of what it looks like in the back. You know, there's obviously not going to be as much room as you have in a 4Runner, but it has some cool features that I will point out here in a minute. But I did want to show you too that this here, you could pull this down, and then you get like a nice little drink tray, you know, for the backseat passengers. So I just kind of want to step back up here in the front, kind of point out a few more things. Right here, of course, this is, you know, tells you how much fuel you have and how fast you go. So it's pretty much just a typical dash as far as that, but it's all digital. So there is that. Of course, like I said, it is a power start button there. And over here on this side, you have down below, this is your button you push to open up the fuel tank door. And right next to it, and I know you can't make it out, is actually the latch that you pull to open up the hood. And it looks like right here, I think this right here is what just lightens and darkens your dash panel. And this right here, you push to open the lift gate. And also, the key does also have a button that you can utilize to open the lift gate. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of show you what it looks like in the back area here. This is pretty neat up here. I like these lights up here, so it's plenty of light, you know, if you're out in the dark trying to find something in the back, you can probably got plenty of light right there. And like I said, the back seats, all seats, they do move forward, so so you can, you know, make more room if you need to. And I thought this was a pretty cool feature right here. This is just like a cover, so you could pull out and you can just, there's a couple little latches there. Don't know if I can do it one-handed or not, but anyway, you just kind of latch them up there like so, so that way if you want to kind of keep things in the back seat or in the very back a little bit more private, that'll should help you on that. So I do like that feature a lot. And of course, down below here's where you're gonna have your the spare tire plus the jack and all that back there. And here, right here, this is just a I don't know, just like an extra plate thing. If you live in a state where you have to have a front plate on your vehicle. And it looks like here they do have a couple little tie downs. Got one back here, one back there on that area as well. So I'm just going to kind of walk around here on this side and just show you how to lay down these back seats here, and it's actually really easy. It's a lot easier than the 4Runner, obviously, because it's a little bit smaller, so it's easier to manage. You basically just, they got a little latch right here. You just pull up on that like so, and just lay that down, and then of course, you know, same way on the other side, you just pull that latch up, put that down. And the only thing that would concern me is if, I don't know if you got something that's really bulky, this right here is probably going to be in the way, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge as far as loading up some larger items in the back. Alright, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's been a little bit since I've been out of town because I've just been trying to get my vehicle situation under control, try to get something that's a little bit more gas friendly and a little bit more easier for me to do some road trips that I want to start doing for the year. I have driven this a couple days now, and first time for me driving a hybrid, so it's been trying to get used to a few things, but it's pretty easy to drive once you get used to a few things. I will say that, of course, you know, it's very quiet when you start it, so there is actually on the gauge that you'll have to look for this like green feature or green thing that pops up, just let you know that it is running, because honestly if you don't see that, you're gonna think that it's not running. It's just that quiet. As far as when you're driving, it does, you know, it's nothing major, but you do kind of hear some little things, but nothing bad at all. I guess, you know, just because it's so quiet to begin with, that when you actually drive it, you do kind of just hear sounds. So, but nothing, no big issues on that. Like I said, if you're a bigger or taller person or a bigger person, this might not be an ideal choice. It is kind of a little bit on the small side, doesn't have a lot of room on the interior as far as leg room or anything like that. But if you're an average size person or somebody on the short side like me, you know, it might be a good choice, you know, if you're looking into getting a hybrid. So alright, so that's gonna do it all for me today. Until next time, bye.